Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at 4.
Trouble for Tiger Woods off the golf course. He's been arrested on suspicion of DUI.
But first, looking live outside, a wet and muggy holiday around the Houston area, and you'll want to keep those umbrellas handy for the rest of the week. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Sarah Donchie.
I'm Bill Baessa in for Keith Garvin. Along with the humid conditions we're seeing right now, could we see another round of storms this evening? Meteorologist Justin Staple joining us now.
That's
Justin?
a $100 question, isn't it, guys? Whether we're going to see another repeat of that last night. I don't think so. And in fact, we got worked over pretty good. We've stabilized some. Kind of a dreary looking day out there. Here's a live shot from the giraffe enclosure there at the Houston Zoo. Notice it is much cooler too, 80 degrees. Feels like temperatures hovering right around that number because the winds are out of the north. Now the humidity's still up, so it's still muggy out there, as Bill and Sarah just mentioned, but we're looking at everybody running a lot cooler, with the exception of Brenham in the mid 80s, everyone else sitting at right around 80 degrees, and we'll continue to keep it cooler going in towards this evening. Now our boundary is sort of stuck right along the coastline. That's going to come into play over the next couple of days in terms of our shower chances, but for the rest of the night tonight, we'll keep about a 20% chance in there over, let's say, about the next 2 to 3 hours, staying on the cooler side tomorrow morning as you start off and head back to work around 70 degrees. We've got one little lone shower near Seabrook there, but if we widen it out, you can see the majority of this is all way offshore, moving its way over in towards southern Louisiana. So for us, the summer mugginess sticks around, and also showers and thunderstorm chances each and every day. I'll lay out your work week forecast straight ahead.
All right, great, Justin. Thank you. Keep in mind that you can track weather conditions anytime you'd like by downloading Frank's free forecast weather app. Just search KPRC in your app store.
Lightning is blamed for causing at least 10 fires overnight in Montgomery County. In one of the worst hit areas, the Holly Creek Apartments in the Woodlands. The fire destroyed 8 units, leaving at least 16 people without places to live. The Red Cross is helping them right now. Also, apartment management is relocating those people to new apartments nearby. Nobody was hurt. Now to a story that we brought you as breaking news at midday: the arrest of golfer Tiger Woods. According to police in Jupiter, Florida, Tiger was arrested early this morning on suspicion of driving under the influence. Nadine Yanez from our sister station in Orlando is following this new round of trouble for the athlete.
Well, because it's Memorial Day, the details into this pro golfer's arrest are limited. But we do know from the jail booking website is that he was arrested 3 o'clock Eastern time in the morning. And then by 7 o'clock, he was booked into jail. And by noon, Tiger Woods was a free man. With sleepy eyes and a serious face, 41-year-old Tiger Woods poses for a mugshot in Palm Beach County this morning. Jupiter police saying the pro golfer was arrested for DUI around 3 a.m., about 30 minutes away from the jail on Military Trail in Jupiter, Florida. The officer pulled him over, arresting Woods with suspicion he was under the influence. Other than that, we're waiting on more information about his arrest. But this isn't the first time Woods has been suspected of driving under the influence. That was questioned back in 2009 when Woods garnered national attention after crashing his Cadillac in the early morning hours outside of his Windermere home. He ended up not facing any criminal charges, but was cited for reckless driving, and his injuries from the crash forced him to take a break. Since then, Woods has battled with injuries, undergoing several surgeries, one as recent as last month. He posted about his recovery on his blog just days ago, writing, quote, "It has been just over a month since I underwent fusion surgery on my back, and it's hard to express how much better I feel. It was an instant nerve relief. I haven't felt this good in years." So today we know Woods was released on his own recognizance, meaning he just signed some papers and didn't have to pay bail to be released today, just promising that he will come to all of his future court proceedings. As for the details of his arrest, Jupiter police say they will be releasing more details tomorrow. In Palm Beach County, Nadine Yanez, KPRC Channel 2 News.
And coming up at 5 o'clock, a marriage and family therapist weighs in on this latest setback for Tiger Woods, why she says his next step should include more than just professional help.
New at 4 o'clock today, Harris County Precinct 1 is mourning the loss of one of their own. 24-year-old patrol deputy Stephen Gonzalez died Sunday while riding his motorcycle off-duty in southeast Houston. This happened on Loop 610 East at Highway 225. Officials say Deputy Gonzalez lost control of his motorcycle as he tried to avoid a traffic snarl that had been caused by an unrelated accident. No word yet on funeral services.
Police are looking into a homicide in northwest Houston. Officers responded to Elmview Place Lane after a man found his friend dead. The victim's family told Channel 2 through a friend that the victim is Rafael Reyes. We're told the possible suspect could be the victim's boyfriend. We have a crew at the scene and we'll bring you the latest developments on Channel 2 News at 5 and on click2houston.com.
At this hour, Houston police also trying to determine who stabbed and then killed a man in a parking lot.
Now we've learned the victim's identity. Officers say the man was found naked outside the Santa Clara Apartments. That is along Marinette near Fondren in southwest Houston. Channel 2's Sophia Beausoleil is at the scene with an update for us. Sophia?
Well, detectives are gone, but it was back here where neighbors found the 24-year-old's body, and his family is just in disbelief right now.
I knew he was a friend for everybody, so there's no any reason why.
Through a translator, Ganizi Kashima says he and his family are trying to understand why someone would kill his 24-year-old brother, Berengio Mupenzi.
It's a sorrow time. We are so sad for that situation.
The 24-year-old was from the Congo and moved here with his family 4 years ago. Investigators say they found him in the middle of the Santa Clara Apartments with multiple stab wounds, and he did not have any clothes on.
My son just opened the window and see this man.
Neighbors called 911 after hearing someone yell for help and seeing the young man's body in the street.
He's cut hair.
Homicide detectives spent the morning collecting evidence from the man's car, which was parked only feet away. Now this family is trying to understand why and say their mother is not doing well.
She can't even speak. She's so sad that she can't even speak.
Mupenzi's family says he was part of the Seventh-day Adventists. When it comes to this investigation, we have not learned what exactly the weapon was. All police would say was that it was an edged weapon. And when it comes to what's going on inside, we did see detectives talking to people who live here. They were also looking at surveillance video. Reporting live from Southwest Houston, Sophia Beausoleil, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
We're in the final hours of the 85th Texas legislature, and that has attracted protesters who are packing the Capitol building in Austin. They're calling for lawmakers to undo the so-called Sanctuary Cities bill. But that wasn't the only commotion taking place inside. Channel 2's Phil Archer is in Austin covering this final day of the legislative session. He joins us live with the story tonight. Phil?
Broke out among lawmakers on the floor of the House during that demonstration that allegedly included death threats. It pitted Democratic lawmakers against a Republican after he announced to them he'd called immigration officials to arrest some of the protesters.
Hundreds of demonstrators came from all over the state to protest Senate Bill 4, known as the Sanctuary Cities Law. It allows local police to enforce federal immigration laws.
We'd rather stand up and fight for it than stand down and conform to it. No matter what, we're going to fight it through.
The protesters moved into the House gallery, forcing the House to halt for about 20 minutes and prompting state troopers to clear the gallery. While that was happening, there was a confrontation on the floor. Irving Representative Matt Rinaldi announced to a group of Hispanic legislators that he just phoned immigration officials to detain some of the protesters.
He had made a phone call to ICE that he was happy that many of these people were going to be deported. And they don't know if those folks are U.S. citizens or not. They were just brown.
Rinaldi admits making the call. In a Facebook post, he said some protesters held signs claiming to be in the country illegally. He says they were being encouraged to disobey state troopers by Democrats on the floor. Rinaldi also claims Eagle Pass Representative Pancho Nevarez threatened his life in the confrontation.
You know, I may have put my hands on him, and I'm sure I did. But again, it's just, it's a shame that that had to happen on the House floor, that he felt the need to pop off the way he does, that he's that hateful and spiteful.
In his post, Rinaldi said he told Nevarez he would shoot him if he was attacked. Rinaldi declined to talk with us after the incident.
We just don't really have any comments on it.
He claimed on the internet that he's now under the protection of state troopers.
It's a good indication the fight over the Sanctuary Cities law didn't end with the governor's signature. And as the session nears its close, it's still not clear if lawmakers will be brought back into special session to consider another controversial proposal the bill to restrict use of public bathrooms by transgender Texans. Reporting live in Austin, I'm Phil Archer, KPRC Channel 2 News.
All right, Phil, thank you. President Donald Trump honored those who served in the armed forces and died for their country.
This as he defends possible connections his administration might have had with Russia while warning North Korea against further aggression. NBC News correspondent Edward Lawrence in Washington with the latest.
On this Memorial Day, President Donald Trump honored those who served and made the ultimate sacrifice for this country, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
We pay tribute to those brave souls who raced into gunfire, roared into battle, and ran into hell to face down evil.
He thanked Gold Star families for their sacrifice.
We can never replace them. We can never repay them. But we can always remember.
As the commander-in-chief marked Memorial Day, America's greatest modern adversaries still nag the White House. President Trump defended his advisor and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, for trying to set up back-channel communications to the Russians before he took office, according to the Washington Post. The president telling the New York Times, quote, "I have total confidence in him." Senator John McCain, while in Australia, said today he doesn't like the idea of a secret communications channel with the Russians.
Some administration officials are saying, well, that's standard procedure. I don't think it's standard procedure prior to the inauguration of a president of the United States by someone who is not in an appointed position.
Meanwhile, the president warned North Korea against further aggression, tweeting North Korea has shown great disrespect for their neighbor China by shooting off yet another ballistic missile. The country's leader watched the test launch of his third missile in as many weeks. The administration has been trying to get both China and Russia to put pressure on North Korea to back off. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis says that North Korea poses a direct threat to the United States and other countries in Asia. In Washington, Edward Lawrence, KPRC Channel 2 News.
We're learning of new raids in Manchester following last week's deadly bombing at a concert.
Coming up, an update on investigators' efforts to close in on the suspected network of the accused attacker.
Also at 5 o'clock today, tragedy at a zoo, what police are revealing about a female zookeeper who was killed by a tiger.
But first, it is a holiday, so you can bet traffic is going to be light out there, and our map reflects that. Good-looking commutes in just about every direction.
You know, Britta, the role of the morning